following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. It is Sunday night, and of course, we all know what that means. It is time to go racing. It is the Sim500 NC811.org Xfinity Series as race number 3 of the playoffs is about to kick off here in just a few moments. But of course, we got to get you set up for not only the third race of the playoffs as mentioned, but race number 23 of the season. Just 5 races technically left after tonight, and a champion will be crowned. But first, we have to get the field of 16 down to 8 for the playoffs, and after tonight, there'll be one race to decide that one. And we'll go over to point standings all here in just a moment. I am the captain. We welcome you in on this Sunday evening as we get ready to go here from the action track, as it's called, Richmond, Virginia, the Richmond Raceway, a track that we raced at earlier this season, and you might remember it was Mike Kelly that went to victory lane in that race as he outran Braxton DeWeese with a restart there late in the race after one of the biggest wrecks in Sim500 history happened here. Will we see that again tonight? We'll have to see. The one big difference, the lights are on tonight, unlike in that race earlier this season. So a lot of things can happen around this 3/4 mile action track as Fuller leads the points right now. He's got 18 points over McMillan. Mike Kelly there in third. John Schweikert in fourth. Kevin Brown, Braxton DeWeese, Stephen Miles, Tyler Dalton, Wesley Donaldson. As you see, pretty much anybody from Kevin Brown down to Anthony Calantoni within 11 points of each other. And 11 points here at Richmond can be a big-time swing. So we got a lot of guys right here in that area that they want to get to in the playoffs. Of course, we got some other drivers who have not either made it to all the races or something has happened throughout the playoffs. Those guys down here at the bottom, that being Charles Van Schaik, Josh Parker, Chad Coleman, and Nelson Rivera also down here, Bob Gillenwater. Those guys are going to need a little bit of work to get up to the 8th place spot by next week's race. Again, they got 2 weeks to do so, and there's no win and get in or anything like that. It's just the most points at the end of the 4 races. They reset without the bonus points this time when they get to the final 4 races of the season. So obviously a lot coming up here in the next 2 weeks. Going to decide who's going to race for the championship and who will not when it's all said and done here this season for Sim500. So, of course, last week we went to Texas Motor Speedway, the Legacy Texas Motor Speedway, and Larry Pace showed up, and, well, he set the pace in that race as he was able to take advantage of some late pit stops and a long green flag run and carry his way to victory lane last week, spoiling it for the playoff drivers. But Fuller was right there behind him, and that allowed him to advance himself a little bit more when it comes to the point standings and building that buffer. Now, Fuller, of course, this season here at Richmond, you could easily say could have won this race, should have won this race, but did not win the races. He had one of the faster cars and unfortunately fell up just a little bit short in that race, but we'll have to see what we can pull off here tonight at Richmond. We did get some long green flag runs during that race in the springtime. We saw, obviously we did have a few cautions, but a wild finish when it was all over with. Now, Tyler Dalton, of course, racing here tonight, and he is the bubble guy, but I think he's got some more important things on his mind. He's having some families having some issues and stuff, so we'll keep Tyler Dalton in our prayers and stuff here as he goes through some stuff. We're actually going to bring him up here real quickly and have a quick word with him before he qualifies here. Tyler, obviously, I know it's we were talking off the air about some stuff going on, but needless to say, man, you're the bubble guy right now, and you have a lot of people around you, which means you could either jump up there a few spots, fall down a few spots here tonight, and you are one that basically Richmond is a short track place for you and a short run place. So how do we kind of put that all together and just make the best of a situation here?
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised I'm even on the bubble, as bad as our first couple races have been. Just had some bad luck, but we're going to do what we can. Not our best track for sure. I'm usually pretty fast on the short run to the mid run, but the long run sort of bites me. So hoping for some middle runs, or maybe I can figure out something with saving the tires. But just going to try to come out here and get a nice, hopefully top 10 or something. I mean, I'm not having too high expectations, but just need to have a decent points day at the very least.
Now, obviously, with the season you've had this season, I know it's been some ups and downs and that kind of thing. Is it kind of surprise you that you're sitting here at a spot where you're on the bubble, or do you feel like you should be higher, or because of the way the playoffs have gone, you feel like you should be even lower?
I definitely feel like with the way the playoffs are going, I should be lower. We've ran all season long. We've ran good enough to be up there, top 3 guys all year long, but just got caught in a bunch of wrecks, had a lot of bad luck. Seems like it's either feast or famine. We either finish like first, top 10, or in the 20s and 30s. So been definitely up and down season. Hopefully tonight's one of our top 5, top 10 nights, and not one of our 20th place nights. Definitely don't need to get that when we're fighting for points, but just going to try to go out there, not make too many dumb moves, and see if we can come home and not get caught up in anyone else's mess either.
The definition of helter-skelter. That has been Tyler Dalton's season this year so far, man. Hey, best of luck here tonight. Obviously, all the best with your situations and stuff, and we shall hopefully talk after the race for good reasons.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Tyler Dalton right now on the bubble, and it's kind of funny because the guys that are right there around him are all in this one specific Discord channel as they're hanging out, because you see the points. I just put them up there on the board again. You see Donaldson's right there. You see Anthony Calantoni's right there. You see Scott Simley is right there. Stephen Miles right above him. Miles only up by 1 point right now on Tyler Dalton. So obviously anything can happen in this little section right here where you have 7 points, 4 points separating 7th through the 11th position there in the points. And you see Tyler saying, I should be actually lower, and I'm lucky enough to be there in this spot as of right now. So looks like practice is about to end here in about 30 seconds or so. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of work our way through here and get ready for qualifying to begin. And of course, qualifying is always presented by our friends at 811. Know what's below and call before you dig. Tyler Dalton is fastest in practice. Braxton DeWeese, 30 laps of practice himself, 21.88 there. A 21.91 from J.P. Phillips, Ryan Macklin, Wesley Donaldson, your top 5 in the practice session. As we talked about the earlier race season here, it was back on February the 25th, a 140-lap race in that one that saw 4 cautions for 19 laps. As I mentioned, had a near 100-lap green flag run, and actually went to overtime before Kelly outran Braxton DeWeese, who fell away to 5th. Braxton led 77 laps in that race. Fuller finished 2nd. E.J. O'Rourke finished 3rd in that race. Kevin Brown and Braxton DeWeese. So if that helps with anything in the race, that should tell you what could be seen here tonight, as I don't really see many handling issues and so on and so forth. So we'll have to see. It's qualifying. Now we'll begin, as I mentioned, presented by 811. Let's see who's going to be out there on the track. You're going to get those early guys, and then I think you're going to see some guys race a little bit later here as the track potentially cools down. But the one thing we should point out here, as they do get out on track, that the track temperature probably going to stay about the same because the sun's not going to come out or anything like that, and these guys stay on a static time schedule. So likely you're not going to see much of a difference outside of added rubber in qualifying here. As a matter of fact, this should tell you something. Stephen Miles is on track already, and he's usually one of the last ones to go out. As you see, Wesley Donaldson climbs up the banking in turn 4 to bring her down to the start-finish line. And I think you're going to see the track spread out a little bit here in this race as Martell 22-24 right now on the pole. So the pole's already about 4 tenths off what they ran in practice. As Campbell goes 22-1, 7 miles, 22-0. 21.98 from Wesley Donaldson goes to the pole. Let's see what Fuller can do as he brings that 55 car off of turn 4. The points leader, he will qualify P4, 22-0. As of right now, Kelly goes to third. McMillan up to second, 22-0. Who else out there running fast right now, getting some hot laps down? Jose Gonzalez jumps up there. Let's check on... Let's go to E.J. O'Rourke here and check on him. In the 41 car. Down the back straightaway he goes. As he brings it off of turn number 4 and almost gets her a little loose off to the start-finish line. 22.31. He is 14th fastest right now, so not the best lap for E.J. O'Rourke, but he'll be up there hiding and gliding and riding up in that top groove and whatever word I came up with there first. All right, let's check on the regular season points champion, Braxton DeWeese. Still looking for that first win. As Braxton not had the best of playoffs here so far. He's 19th, 22.48. Let's see what the Ohio driver can do as he brings her off turn 4. You see Macklin's got it in the purple. Drives it straight off towards that Richmond wall. And he goes to the pole, 21.98. Looking for a second straight pole, and Dalton knocks him off with an 8. And flat 8. How about that? 8, that's 6 1,000ths. That's 7 1,000ths amongst the top 3. What's that, top 4 within 12 100ths? Holy moly. Tight qualifying here. Well, if this don't hype you up for the race a little bit, what's coming up here tonight? Dalton said he's good on the short run. He just proved it right there. As if you're pretty good on the short run, that means you're able to qualify usually pretty well. You know, let's see if he can pull that one off come race time. If he could do that in 140 laps, he's out there still running laps right now in that 19 car. So, all right. Well, we looks like nobody else is going to come out on track. As I'm looking at the lap times, everybody's just out there running laps right now. So they're going to have the warm-up. We'll go ahead and jet out of here early then. Congrats to Tyler Dalton on the 811 pole. We'll come back after the national anthem and get you ready for the race here on the Captain Esports Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
All right, back we are here trackside as we get ready for the race to get going. Warm-up going on right now. Is you got about 10 seconds or so left before the grids will set, and we'll get you set for 140 laps of racing around this 3/4 mile oval. Of course, built back in the 1940s as a dirt track. And the Henrico County Fair, basically area, the fairgrounds area, where later became the Richmond Raceway. Of course, the half-mile track back then, which I think would be kind of cool if iRacing did a North Wilkesboro-style retro look of Richmond and brought it on iRacing. That'd be kind of cool. But not just throwing that out there. And in 1988, turned into a 3/4 mile oval. And it's been that ever since. Worn-out surface. Of course, you're going to see those option tires and NASCAR coming up here in a few weeks once we get back from the Olympic break. But here we go. As we see the cars gridding, let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race number 3 of the playoffs. Here from the virtual Richmond Raceway on iRacing. Tyler Dalton does it again, wins the pole, 21.980. And look how close second and third are. Braxton DeWeese outside, front row. And Wesley Donaldson there, row 2, alongside Brian Macklin. Mac McMillan, a whole bunch of Macs right there, 4th and 5th. And Mike Kelly, the winner from the spring race, stole that one from Braxton. He's going to start in the 3rd row. Jose Gonzalez and Nelson Rivera there, row 4. Justin Fuller and Stephen Miles, row 5. JP Phillips and Bob Gillenwater, they will take the 6th row. Row 7, William Kemp and Glenn Campbell. Row 8, Matthew Martell, Anthony Calantoni. Jeff Ryan, E.J. O'Rourke. In row 9, row 10, Charles Van Shank and Scott Simley. Seth Foundy, Chad Coleman. Row 11, row 12, Kevin Brown, John Schweikert. 30 cars going to make the start here tonight. These guys didn't run a lap. Parker, Poland, the Dean machine there, Christopher Dean, Randy Yoakum, Brian Wortman, and Mark Schrader. The 30 starters here tonight, and Schweikert missed the start. So that could be kind of big for the second place guy right now in the point standings. As I mentioned, the race info tonight, 140 laps, 45% humidity, the usual iRacing default weather. Time is standing still, even though it's moving in real life. I don't know how else to explain that. 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes, and a partridge and a pear tree to get you ready on the 3/4 mile oval. And Bully Dog, it's my way of saying hi, by the way. Yeet. Just saying hello, all the viewers. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not so new to the channel, we appreciate you coming back. Share the stream out to others. Let's get some viewers in here tonight to enjoy some Sunday night racing here on the Captain Esports Network. As these cars go into turn 1 one final time here. I mentioned the 140 laps can easily be done on one stop, fuel-wise. But in the spring race, we had a couple of cautions early. Matter of fact, we had 3 of them. And then we went green all the way from about lap 40, or I'm sorry, about lap 30 to 130. And then we had a green-white checker finish in the end. So anything can happen here at Richmond Raceway. As here they come off of turn number 4 in the hands of Tyler Dalton and Braxton DeWeese as Dalton takes the high side. And we go green. It is race number 3 of the playoffs. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. Tyler trying to clear on the top side. You see Macklin, Donaldson, everybody to the bottom. As Tyler will get him. Just got to kind of set your pace here. Tires are going to get eaten up. You might see the track move around just a little bit. Would not be surprised if that happens. And good news is, I believe in the spring race, if I remember correctly, somebody blew a motor going into turn 1 on lap 1 with a money shift. So if that's anything, that's a good news start. You see some side-by-side racing already. Phillips under attack from Kemp. You see Gillenwater there on the inside. This track definitely has that multi-groove look to it. Kind of back up, save your tires a little bit as much as possible. Still no John Schweikert as I look over there in the 30th position. He's still not on track, so this could definitely hurt him, and the points will help Fuller a little bit more as he tries to pad that top 4 lead. But likely you will see the one car move out of the top 2 in points. As speaking of Fuller, inside of Rivera for position. This is at 9th. Jose Gonzalez in front of him. Mac McMillan, the Bully Dog Coffee car, up in front of him. You know, a lot of people have dogged on Richmond the last few years because of just the way it is. The track's older, and of course it's, as some would say, not produced some of the funnest racing in NASCAR. That's why I think part of the reason you're seeing the Cup Series go to that option tire coming up in a couple weeks. But as you see, it can definitely produce some multi-groove racing. As Rivera gets past, loses that spot to Fuller. Miles going to dive in behind him. He's going to look inside now. So Rivera, maybe a little bit of a diamond look here, or maybe a little tight there, not able to keep the car on the bottom. Now he scrapes up the wall a little bit. That's not going to help. Tyler's out to about a half second of a lead over Braxton DeWeese there. Macklin, Donaldson, Kelly, your top 5. So a little change up at the top. You will notice all the playoff drivers have either a green, yellow, or red number on them. If they're green, that means they're in the good right now. They're above the 8th position. If they're anywhere within the 8th position and below, so like for instance 8th, 9th, 10th, those guys who are within 10 points of Tyler Dalton, those guys are in the yellow. The guys that need help to get to the top 8, those guys you're going to see in the red numbers. So for instance, Bob Gillenwater at number 4 is in red. You'll notice Parker's numbers in red. You'll notice Chad Coleman's numbers in red. Those guys obviously need to make up a lot of points to have a chance to get to that top 8. As Wesley Donaldson under attack, as Mike Kelly to his inside. You can move Mike up to the 4th position. It's one of these tracks that I know a lot of my time in racing, like on video games and stuff, I always had fun at Richmond. But some reason on iRacing, I struggled at Richmond. I don't know why. Just could not figure it out after about 10 laps. It was like I could not get the car to turn the corner or whatever I was doing, but it didn't like me. And that's what you're kind of seeing Wesley kind of fall back here a little bit. McMillan's gone by. See Gonzalez going by. Here comes Fuller, the points leader inside. Already 13 laps in the books. So 70 to halfway point here. So that's, I think it's going to be the magic number tonight, is that 70 number. You can easily go 80 to 90 laps on a tank of fuel. However, you get to lap 70, halfway point, you're probably coming in to get tires, if not sooner. We'll have to see how those strategies play out. Of course, we've had a couple of yellow-free races here these last few weeks. I could probably speak for the Cup guys right now that would happily trade a few yellows with these guys in their races. Let's go back here to 18th as Chad Coleman under attack. Josh Parker, an 81 car. Couple guys needing some help in the point standings. Back here at E.J. O'Rourke, Kevin DeBrown. There's Anthony Calantoni up in front of him. wonder if Schweikert fell victim to that glitch that's been happening. But I did notice he had not been on the track running laps during like practice and stuff again either, so highly doubtful unless he just had a bad disconnect or something, but who knows. That's why I sit over here. I don't know anything. All right, with Stephen Miles here, the 24 car. Donaldson there behind him. Remember when this race happened back in the spring, Miles and I talked, and this was the race in the springtime that I remember him saying to me, he's like, these guys are good. Because he was back in like the 18th, 19th position. He was struggling. And he ended up getting a decent finish out of the race, even though he was in that melee on the backstretch on the final lap. But I remember coming back that race, and he knew from that day, he was like, I'm practicing a ton for this stuff. And he's done a good job, got a win at Daytona. He's had a few top 5 finishes here and there. But here he is, playoff driver, running in the top 10 right now. You see Fuller already starting to move up the track a little bit. Actually doing an old diamond to it. I mean, he's doing a big old diamond. That's not a little diamond. I mean, he's entering early, and he's letting that car wash way up the track, which here he can't do it because Gonzalez to his outside. I mean, he is sliding that car up a good 3 lanes and bringing it down to that yellow line. Good, clean racing here so far. Hello, Doug. Hello, Mr. Deweese. Appreciate you guys joining us as always. There's those A6 position trying to hold off Mr. Fuller. So this being the 5th short track in the 2024 Xfinity season. Of course, when I say short tracks, Bristol, Iowa, Phoenix, Richmond. Just to go ahead and get that out there. They don't run Martinsville usually here at Sim500. But there have been 3 different winners in the 4 races. Fuller's won 2 of them. Mike Kelly and Mac McMillan winning the other 2. And you see Gonzalez clear Fuller to hold off that position. However, the driver with the best rating going into tonight's race on the short track is your Fuller. He gets into Gonzalez a little bit there. That's very tricky there with that dog leg in the middle of that corner. But your regular season point standing leader and champion Braxton Deweese, the best driver rating on the short tracks this season at 108.4, right there with McMillan just below him, and Mike Kelly there in the 3rd spot. Deweese, the only driver in the series to have top 5s in all 4 races. As you see, Brian Macklin has gone to the lead. Deweese going to go to the inside at Tyler Dalton for 2nd, and here comes Mike Kelly with him. So if there's any strong point for this 5 this season, it has been the short tracks. I'll ask the $1 million question that I've been saying since, what, about May? When's Braxton getting that first win? Let's go back and show you the pass for the lead. I try to show this to you at least when we miss it. Macklin with just a good old pass there off turn 4. Runs it down the front straight to the inside, and Dalton gives him the position to move Brian Macklin to the front. And that was at lap 22. And now lap 28. And there's your battle there. He's trying to get up there to the back end of that 30 car as these 2 here continue to fight it out. Spirited battle. Oh, there's the bumper. Excuse me. Lap 28, let's throw the bumper to the mouse. Speedy Gonzalez is like, oh, don't do that again. Or however, oh, he's really going to give him the bumper now. Into him he goes, and around goes Gonzalez. Jose's not going to be happy about that, and Fuller must not be happy. A caution out for the first time. Did Wesley Donaldson get in that? Oh, look at that. Nose is off to 91. So playoff implications are he's lost both ends. So caution here, lap 31. What happened? Well, we saw it on the replay. Right there, Fuller says, "How you doing?" to the mouse. I'd have to go watch an episode. I used to watch Speedy Gonzalez all the time when I was younger. Go back and remember his voice. I think I kind of have an idea. That's when they hit each other, and then Donaldson nowhere to go. Flat T-bone steak on the 26. Oh, and then EJ finished off the 91. Well, that finished with units and ended with units. And pit stops happening here. Let's jump live to that as a couple cars have stayed out. O'Rourke and Wortman race off pit road, won by Macklin. Tyler Dalton, Mike Kelly, Mac McMillan, Miles going to be up there in position. Obviously, EJ and Wortman going to come in this time by. Let's step away. We'll come back and kind of review what happened there. That was interesting. As we got 33 laps in the books here at Richmond on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
Welcome back as we come to you with the replay of how the battling was going on amongst these two during that run. I see Gonzalez was running that top side there, and Fuller's probably thinking at this point, you know what, it's early. You could just let me go here and we can race later. And of course they had that door contact that happened here off turn 4. Looking fairly clean right here. I know, like I said, they door off the 4 the one time, and I don't know if that irritated Fuller or Gonzalez or somebody off, but somebody got mad right there. They door each other. Probably about to go green here, but then that's going to lead to the contact that happens right there. So yeah, I would think that that dooring probably did something, I would say. As we're 1 to go. Gonzalez still on pit road. The only thing I worry about in this situation now, obviously, just like every league, this league has, Sim500 has reprimands and stuff for people doing things in like retaliation or anything like that. But let me flash you the point standings one more time here. Jose Gonzalez is not in the playoffs, unlike Fuller. So let's hope that Fuller does not respond to what happened here a little bit ago in that situation. Macklin leads him off to green, lap number 35. Not that, you know, Fuller obviously has some room, so let's just hope everything works itself out here. We're actually going to move up to second there as Kelly and Dalton separate themselves out for third. And here's your first battle now. Back at Nelson Rivera and the 20 car JP Phillips. Down the back straightaway is one car off the pace. I think that's EJ O'Rourke. He's got some on it. He's got some issues. Obviously getting into Wesley Donaldson a little bit ago under that caution, or as they were going under caution from the wreck. That's a lot of damage on that 41 car. Tough break for EJ. Up here for second, Deja Vu, Mike Kelly inside of Braxton. Uh-oh, trouble. Randy Oakham, Seth Foudy. Turn 4 brings out yellow number 2. And by the way, that yellow just now was the first caution we'd seen in 2 races for the Xfinity guys. And now we get our second caution just like that. Wasn't really a wreck per se, but there was a little bit of action, if you will. Right around the 8 car, Randy Oakham. Let's see. Oh, right there, Calantoni and 8 and the 8 come together. Foudy nowhere to go. He does a simple a 360. Get you a better view of this real quick from the crash cam. See Calantoni up ahead there of the 8. Eight was running up there in the top side. It looks like he just comes down and Calantoni didn't cut him a break and sent him packing. Get you a better view of this here. Crash cam. The 8 up there with Campbell. Look how he went to cut down right here, and then just unfortunately the 84 is there. And then Foudy nowhere to go, takes his nose off. Nice job by everybody else to miss. Caution number 2 on the track. As Gonzalez going to get a lucky dog. I need 3 or 4 of those to get back on the lead lap here. So everybody came in for tires and fuel under that last caution. And tomorrow night, we invite you to come join us for the Brickyard. It is the Cup Series, the NC811.org Cup Series from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern Time. Of course, Pedro Mojica winning that race last season, who will get the win at the Brickyard coming up here tomorrow night virtually on iRacing. And we'll have another league race on Thursday this week from Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Super Speedway hybrid, that is. We have 3 races this week. All run to caution. Make sure you check out 40racewear.com. All your iRacing accessories, from shoes that you can wear while you're out there racing on iRacing and gloves that can help you, especially when you have a wheel with force feedback and you're running those tough races like the Spa 24 from this past weekend. If you were in that race, or if you ran the Brickyard 400, or, well, you won't be able to use them tonight if you're getting ready to run the Brickyard, which will start in literally a couple minutes. I think they're qualifying right now, NIS-wise. But you can check out 40 Racewear to get your gloves and shoes and other merchandise and more. Make sure, again, you check out 40racewear.com. J34 Ever joining us, as always. It's funny, I use Restream, which is a third-party app. It allows me to broadcast out to YouTube, to Facebook pages and stuff all at once, including the Sim500 Facebook page, which I'm sure somebody's watching from tonight. And it's funny, when I do that, when people put the emojis in, like for instance, Jay put, it says, here's what it says on my end. It has the colon person dash turquoise dash waving, colon person dash turquoise dash waving dash almost forgot. That's what it says to me over here. Green flag back out at lap 45 instead of like if I'm on YouTube, it'll actually show me whatever the emoji was he used. Macklin, good restart, goes to the front. Mike Kelly inside of Braxton DeWeese for second. Mac McMillan slowly working his way up to third. The battle for fifth there, Stephen Miles and Tyler Dalton. Now this was the point last in February when we ran this race that they went 100 laps. Almost to the end. So let's see if these guys can do it again. I know for your, Jay, for what you're talking about Thursday, it's the old one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you said the new one. Dang it, got me. While they're side by side, JP Phillips looking inside. You see William Kemp having a good run. Up there in that 09 car, he's trailing Miles for sixth. Chad Coleman has worked his way up through the field, having a good start so far to this race. Coleman running that top side, bringing Kevin Brown with him, bringing Josh Parker. Those guys started near the back of this race tonight. You see how they are working their way up here through the field. Top three single file. First battle now for fourth is Miles has caught McMillan. Coleman trying to get around Dalton now is starting to fall back a little bit, though, even though on newer tires now. So you wonder if Dalton is maybe trying to make this a longer running car. But he's fallen back into the clutches there of Kevin Brown, Chad Coleman. And caution. Big rack in the back here. Glenn Campbell, Matthew Martell, Charles Van Schaik, Bob Gilwater, another playoff driver. And not sure who that yellow and black car is back there. Gilwater's going to tow it back as caution comes out again for the third time here, lap 54. Mark Schrader was that other car. Levi Poland involved. See what started this one. Going down the front straightaway, looking maybe at Rivera a little bit. There's Martell. They're looking right behind it. Fuller on Martell gets in to the back of the 44. Fuller does a... Oh, Fuller gets a piece of it, actually. I thought he was going to clear it, and then the 4 of Gilwater, it looked like got in the back of him. Let's get a blimp view of this. Oh, Martell gets in there real deep. Oh, and Calantoni gets a piece. So I had another playoff driver. And, ooh, 83 comes in there real hard. And it looks like we're going to have a couple takers on pit road here. Either getting some damage fixed or going to top off the fuel tank here, because now we're looking at 80 laps, 83 laps. Some of these guys might try to go to the finish here on fuel. Armin Rivera, Van Schaik, and those guys on the pit road here. So well, this is going to get interesting now, because I think the window is open officially to go the rest of the way on fuel if these guys pull out this long run. Otherwise, I mean, we're still looking at least one more stop for a lot of these guys in the field. I think we'll probably get one to go this time by. Yeah, lights go off on the pace car. I was going to bring up Mr. Kelly real quickly, but we're just going to leave that alone, and maybe if we get one more yellow, we'll come back. So I'm not seeing John Schweiker, Wesley Donaldson off the track, Randy Oka, Mark Schrader, Bob Gillenwater off track. Seth Fowdy, Brian Wortman is on pit road right now. So is Fowdy, who's actually a lap down now. Gonzalez still 2 laps down. And EJ O'Rourke back on track. He is 3 laps down in this race as we wrap up the third caution here. As Macklin gets a pretty good restart again. He leads him to the green, lap number 60. And right where we pick back up with Kelly inside of Braxton DeWeese for second. Stephen Miles there. Kevin DeBrown going to try to get to the top side. Scraping it up there a little bit off turn 4. Very interesting to see a couple cars that were involved in that wreck staying out and keeping that track position. Now Mac McMillan did come to pit road under that yellow. He is there in the 11th position. The rest of these guys, Anthony Calantoni, Justin Fuller, 12th and 13th. These guys, looks like their cars, they feel are okay. And I think McMillan, did he go to tires here? Because 88 looks like it's been shot out of a cannon. Oh, he's got some freshies. Look out now. McMillan putting 4 tires and obviously topped that thing off with coffee. And he is good to go now. And he's making passes like it's the last lap of this race. As Kevin England would say on Monday nights with me, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. I like it. I think he's maybe wondering if he's getting a notion that this long run is coming. And if so, yeah, he's in good shape, because then he'll have the freshest tires for another little bit, and then everybody will come to pit road, and guess what? Everybody will lap down, and they'll have to catch him. he's going to want to get to the front as quick as he can so he can try to outrun the field as far as he can go. You see Kelly's gone the second around the Weiss. And McMillan up to the 6th position now as he's past Parker, he's past Coleman. Now, it's not like McMillan's out of tires either. He does have one more set to go. What it does, though, is potentially, if this race does get a yellow, say about 30 laps, 40 laps, might put him in a spot where he either has to take that last set of tires or doesn't take tires and keeps them until the end of the race if something happens, which I am not a fan of that kind of strategy to have at this track. I want tires as soon as I can get them, and yeah, I've always been a fan of having them at the end of the race, but sometimes you're not so sure unless you're in an NIS race that you're going to have a caution at the end of this race. You just never know. Back here is William Kempf under attack as the 12 of Scott Simley. Looking to his inside that 12 car. I've adapted, Jay, to the tracks with the safer barriers. I mean, what I always find weird, and it's kind of disappointing to see, is you see some of the tracks, and you look behind the safer barrier, you see like how the wall, the actual concrete wall that's sitting there is like, you know, getting tight, like rusty almost, if you will, at times, and water, like stains and stuff like that on them, so it's like they're just kind of rotting a little bit. That's kind of disappointing to see. As we pass the halfway point here, 70 laps in, 70 laps to go. What kind of races have we seen in the past here at the Richmond Raceway? Just taking a look back at the history. Every race here at Richmond has been 2 races up until 2020, and there's 1 race a season until this year. We went back to 2 races here at Richmond. Caution-wise, we've had 2 races go over 10. We've had 2 races with 1. And then last, of course, the February race had 4. Last season's August race actually had 9 in it. So it's kind of an up and down, helter-skelter type of night. You either have a lot of cautions or you don't. Right now we're at 3 here at the halfway point. So right now you would think that it doesn't look like it could happen, but as we've seen this year, when you least expect it, it happens. Let's check out the Dean machine. He is in a battle here with Rivera. Martel, the 72. That is Levi Poland in that Mustang. In the 17th position here, as Macklin has gone to the front, by the way, the fresh tires. He has worked his way up and through, and now is running away. For those curious, I'm going to clear the air with this one really quickly. For those curious, sometimes, yes, I do miss the changes. That's why I try to show them. But again, being a one-man show, I have to peek over at my standings all the time, so it's like I don't, sometimes we'll see a lead change or a position change, so if you're wondering why I didn't catch it or whatever, just know why. But the good news is when there's a lead change, I will definitely go back and show it. So here you go. Macklin pulls over. And McMillan with the or fresher beans on his car, if you will, goes on by and takes the lead at lap 73, and now is going to try to get away as far as he can. Because if this race stays green, everybody's coming to pit road, likely except him, but they're going to have the fresher tires to, if you will, do we throw out the term chase the rabbit? TJ O'Rourke off the pace. He's going to come back to pit road. There's Macklin. There's Mike Kelly. This is the second position right here with Deweese there behind him in the fourth position. Braxton having another good run. Kevin DeBrown having a great run there. Stephen Miles, Josh Parker, Chad Coleman having a great run. The only bad news for people like Coleman and Dalton, or for Parker and Coleman, is Dalton's right there behind him. And that's your bubble guy right now. And with Wesley Donaldson out of the race in 29th and Anthony Calantoni in 15th, Dalton a chance to expand that bubble a little bit before we go to the final race of the round of 4. Of course, here in the Sim 500 season, in the way they set up their playoffs, it is a 4-race stretch of 16 cars in this series, and then after that they reset in 8 cars, run for 4 races again for the championship. It's not a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 1 like the traditional NASCAR playoffs. And next week it is the Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race on the schedule. As a matter of fact, we will run 4 of the next 5 races on 1.5-mile tracks. Atlanta this week, coming up on Sunday, and then August 4th, which is next Sunday at Las Vegas, Charlotte, Iowa, and in Homestead to finish out the schedule right before Labor Day weekend. And the reason why you might wonder how come there's so many more races left in the Monday series but not the Sunday series, and that is because one of the arguments the series had here a few seasons ago was they wanted to be done with the regular season for Sunday nights before football got here. I guess obviously Sunday's NFL day for the majority of American stuff, so we adjusted the schedule, shortened it up, and started early. So we started actually like the week after New Year's and got going, and here we are. All right, so 84 laps complete. As you see, Tyler Dalton trying to make a pass for the 10th position, make that 11th on J.P. Phillips. He's going to do that, and we're going to step away. Oh, he was going to do that. And we're going to step away for another break here as we're just past the halfway points. Let's get back and see what happens here at the Richmond Raceway at Sim 500 on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here, 86 laps complete. As you see, the leaders cross the line. And as you saw them cross the camera, Chad Coleman and Stephen Miles in a battle for the 7th position. As you see the view from the crowd here at Richmond, it's like to watch a short track race here in the 3/4 mile track. Of course, I mentioned Iowa coming up here in a few weeks for these guys. Iowa, the sister track duo of Richmond. You see Coleman's gone by Miles there for a position, and now we've got Justin Fuller as these guys start to climb the top of the track. His tires get about 10 to 15 laps on him. You start to see him move up and make this top side work as McMillan leads by 1.3 seconds now over Macklin. Right here, the 19 of Tyler Dalton, the 09 of William Kemp, the 22 of Nelson Rivera, the 12th, 13th, and 14th positions here. See Dean and Calantoni back there. 16th and make that 15th and 16th positions. So again, for those watching tonight for the first time, you see a number in green up there at the top of the screen, like McMillan, Mike Kelly, Braxton Deweese. Those guys are good to go on points right now as we race. The guys that you see in red, and like Josh Parker there in the 6th position. You see Chad Coleman's name come up. His numbers in the red. Those guys need some help to have a shot at the second round of the playoffs. And then numbers in yellow, Scott Simley, Tyler Dalton, Anthony Calantoni, those guys, their numbers are in yellow because they are right there around the bubble point of this series to make it to the next round. So otherwise you'll see different color numbers. Those are the car numbers of those out of the playoffs. So trying to kind of separate out who's in the playoffs, who isn't. So if there's any questions, just pick up there the number of the car. And that's about the easiest way I can help you out. I've tried number changes, name changes when it comes to colors. I've tried all different things. This way seems to be the easiest to do. Somebody can teach me how to do some coding. I mean, I know a little bit how to do it, but like just randomness. I went to school in Florida. I barely know how to do math. As Rivera looks at the inside of Kemp for the 13th position. Look at this. See, now you really see that track spread. I see Gonzalez up there near the boards. Phillips there, Miles on the bottom. Miles falling back. He might be in tire saving mode here, or might be off the pace or something. I'm going to go with the formal on this. Miles is more of a long run driver, and I know we've been on a little bit of a longer run, but he's backing his pace up here. Running that bottom side, doesn't have to drive it as hard or whatever. There's nothing to apologize about. It is what it is. I'm good with it. I'm not complaining one bit. Trust me, I'm grateful and happy to have everything I have on here, to have all this technology to work with and a computer that cooperates with me, to a cool stream of viewers that like to come and hang out, to great racing. I'm good. I have everything I want right here in front of me. All right, so McMillan, as I said, is out there by 1.3 seconds. Macklin there in second. Mike Kelly, Braxton Deweese, Josh Parker is here in the 5th position in this 81 car. And you're seeing a whole train of cars start to work their way up. Parker, DeBrown, Fuller, Chad Coleman. If I were to bet, they're probably all in one specific Discord channel. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. No, honestly, I try to be a good person. I let other people determine if I'm a good person or not, because I'm a firm believer in, and I catch myself with this sometimes, as Fuller goes inside of Kevin DeBrown. I've always been a believer that if you have to come out and say, I am this, or I am that, or, like, for instance, you go to a business and they say they have the best burger in the state of Tennessee, unless it has a quote or something that says best burger in Tennessee according to insert newspaper here or whatever, or insert rating company here, then you're probably lying saying you have the best burger in town. So again, if you think you're the best person in the world, you're not. That's where I'm going with this. So if you think I'm a good streamer, I appreciate it. Otherwise, I ain't saying a word. 40 laps to go already. Laps ticking off here. Me, race better than you, Jay? No, not at all. I've only won 2 Daytona 500s and Indy 500. Haven't done anything. Let's take a look at the pit board here and see what we're looking at here. So you see everybody came to pit road right around lap 31, except for McMillan. Obviously pitting lap 31, you got to go 109 laps. And you've only had one caution since then, so it's safe to say that these guys are not making it on fuel outside of McMillan. And McMillan might have to save a little bit, we'll have to see. But if that's the case, I would expect to see people on pit road really shortly. If they can make it somehow 109 laps on a tank of fuel, then there's a reason why I'm up in the booth now calling races, because I am no Larry McScalla. You're absolutely right there, Mr. Bully Dog. Lead dog has the best view. 88 there. He's actually got a problem on his hands. Those tires that he had on his car have faded a little bit, and here's Macklin coming back to him. So it helped him get the track position, but now it's like that episode of Seinfeld. You can make a reservation. Can you keep it? He made his reservation taking the tires. Now, can he keep the lead? The good news, though, for McMillan in this situation is he has ran enough laps to where everybody will come back to pit road and probably use the one set that he has left, and the rest of them use a set of tires, and probably not be able to use that third set unless yellow fever comes into play here. So as Jeff Ryan cuts down the pit road right in front of the leader there. There's Fuller coming to the back of that 5 car. Fuller seeing what he can do here at lap 107. These guys back in the spring talked about how they could barely hold the throttle down on the straightaways because it was so hot with the daytime race. This nighttime race, yeah, you see Fuller and a couple others still sliding the tires off of turn 4. At least there's a little bit of full straightaway speed. As Fuller actually caught the wall there, it's going to kind of catch his momentum a little bit there, but look at the run he gets there. He's making a highline work really well here. Oh, he's leaving some skid marks off too. Fuller, don't heat up the tires there. Slide back here's Coleman and Phillips and Rivera, and there's Simley there in front of them. This is all 8th place on back to 9th and 10th and 11th. Rivera there behind him. Tyler Dalton back in the 11th, make that 12th position with Kemp. McMillan's lead down to 0.6 of a second. Macklin has actually started to pull away from Mike Kelly as he's got 1.5 seconds. Brian Macklin has been very impressive here tonight at Richmond. As he looks to put that 30 car potential in victory lane. The only thing holding them up right now as the 5 and 55 side by side and getting tight. As I say, the only thing holding Macklin up from potential of winning this race is a tire strategy by Mac McMillan, but even that seems to be kind of dwindling here a little bit. As Fuller clear right now, entering the corner, and is going to clear the 5, so move Fuller to 4th. Lead down to 0.4 of a second now with 26 laps to go. There you see the separation right there. Nelson Rivera there with Chad Coleman. as these guys fight it out too a little bit. And a couple battles starting to shape up here, 24 to go. Very surprised how McMillan's tires have fallen off. I wonder if he just drove them too hard coming through the field. Buzzed him up a little bit there, and it's allowed Macklin to kind of reel him back in. There's about a 24-lap difference on those tires. And now this time by, everybody pretty much running 2360s throughout. Lynn Campbell going to be the lap car in front of him. Campbell, last one on the lead lap, so we'll see how much he battles here as he's still got a chance to fight here. He's about 8 seconds back of Van Schijk, so he might just give this one up with that damage on that 44 car. See Brian Wortman there behind him just got lapped. And there goes both the leaders as Macklin is now there. Now to turn one. Macklin. A little mirror block right there. Up, caution is out. Caution waves and looks like it is for the 72 of Levi Poland, who has jumped the pit road. Oh boy. I think for Mac, he is going to be forced to take his last set of tires here, where everybody else is going to have a set left. But he might have worked this out perfectly in the tire situation. We're going to see. I'm not sure what happened to Levi, because it looks like Levi came to pit road at lap 116. He leaves pit road, so let's see what happens in the 72 here. He leaves pit road. Actually, no, let's come back to this because we are on pit road. Money stop right here for everybody. The 5 car with the money stop, and he's going to come out first. And that is because 2 tires. Braxton doing the strategy that Fuller did in the spring race. McMillan coming out second. Parker with 2 tires comes out third. Ooh, let the strategy come into play here. Macklin and Kelly 4th and 5th here. Going to be 18, maybe 16 or so laps to go when we get the green flag in this race. Should be interesting. Let's actually step away and get our final break in before the checkered flag as you're watching Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811!
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, 16 laps to go this time. I should get the 1 to go signal. Braxton DeWeese stays at, pits and gets 2 tires. Mac McMillan with 4 tires. And then Josh Parker with 2 tires. That is your top 3 And then the rest of the field taking 4 tires all the way back. Brian Macklin, Mike Kelly, Justin Fuller, Kevin Brown, Scott Simley, Nelson Rivera, Tyler Dalton, your top 10. Yeah, this race is looking all like the spring race all over again. The difference being the final caution came out right at the green-white checker, and not with 50 or 20 laps to go here. So let's see how this transpires with the 2 tires. Braxton, the control car there on the bottom. Enters the Geico restart zone, launches out. Slight spin of the tires there, but gets a pretty good restart. Down on the bottom, McMillan tries to get to his door. He's still there with them. Both of them slide up the track, giving each other room. Mr. Coffee Company is, Mr. Bully Dog's probably a little nervous right now as both his coffee machines are up front. Oh, at the line, that was a dead heat. Fuller trying to climb the banking up as Macklin under attack from Kelly. That time it was Braxton by inches. Trying to clear him ever so close. Oh, and around goes Chad Coleman. The 38's into the grass and into the wall. No caution. As we stay green. Oh, now the longer run starting to come into play here, and these tires might be helping McMillan on the outside lane. Oh, he's got a little contact there, but he's going to clear him. He's going to send it back in there. Oh, look out. Looks like Deweese is having a hard time getting it to grip off turn 4, which is obviously very hard to do when the corner turns pretty much the whole entire straightaway. McMillan's all but clear. Ooh, Braxton got a little loose there. That'll do him in. McMillan to the front, finally. Great battle. Now for Deweese, are you in defense mode or are you trying to go get this? Josh Parker's falling back to 7th, by the way, with the 2 tires on the... Oh, now contact with Ian Simley. 4 wide into the corner. Oh, they're still trying to hit each other. Parker into the wall hard. And caution comes out. My, oh my. That wreck took a complete lap almost to happen, by the way. Dalton gets involved. Miles does a good job checking up. Actually, Dalton leaves the damage on the right front there. They end up 4 wide here. And then Rivera's going to get hip checked down into Parker. And we do have Brian Macklin coming to pit road. Macklin, the only one of the leaders Macklin had a set of tires to use here, so, oh boy. Well, can lightning strike twice? Let's ask the guy that is going to have the same restarting position as he did back in February. Mike Kelly, here we go. Deja vu all over again as you start on the outside lane here late in this race. Do we have any tricks up our sleeve for tonight?
I'll never tell.
Why not? Not like anybody's going to use them.
This is some deja vu, though. I just realized about 5 laps ago before the yellow that I won this race last time. And then I'm going for second, and the freaking yellow flag comes out, Chris.
Well, the difference is, though, you get the 88 instead of the 5. That's the difference here. You outdid the 5. It hit the last race. Here it's the 88.
So we've been having some good battling, so, yeah.
Well, obviously, we've seen the top side work. The question here is obviously the disadvantage for you is the Geico restart zone is coming out of turn 4, and there's still a corner there, per se. So you kind of lose that bottom lane a little bit there. No. So...
Did they move it or what? Because it seems like I got a really good start was my thing last time here, that I got a good jump.
Well, I think you just timed it perfect, if I remember correctly, yeah. and how that worked out. So guess what? Go try it again.
I'm gonna. I'm excited, Chris. I'm excited.
Best of luck, buddy.
Thanks. Have a good one.
As Mike Kelly goes for the win here, as he did in February, won this race. Looking to sweep the Richmond week. Their season, I should say, in the Xfinity car. And looks like we are coming to 2 to go right now. So we're actually going to go into overtime again. The lights will go out. I appreciate all the viewers hanging out again. Join us tomorrow night as the Cup Series will be at the Brickyard. Hope you can join us for that, 8:15 Eastern Time. Going to get good. You get 2 chances at an overtime, so you got this one and then one more after this. And Kelly time to restart with McMillan. As McMillan launches, a great restart for the 88. 2 laps to go. Down into turn 1, Braxton trying to get a run on Kelly to 3 wide. Fuller gets knocked up the track. The race is on for second here. As the 22 gets out of shape there, and the 30 goes 3 wide with fresh tires at the bottom. And around goes the 09. Coleman, Rivera, all go around, and we try it again. Macklin trying to make the fresh tires work. See some contact here, Rivera. And here's going to get out of shape a little bit there. Might have hit Dalton, not sure, but then they go into the corner. Everybody funnels down, and the 30 gets into the 09. And Van Schaik and others involved in this one. So that's going to give us one more chance at it. right, so what's going to happen here? Of course, this is kind of how it's set up in the spring race. I know I've compared apples and oranges a whole ton of times now with the spring race, but I remember correctly, in that race, Kelly was the outside car for a couple of restarts. And he kept kind of losing the battle like he did there on that one, and he just timed out the last one and was able to get around McMillan. So you wonder if he took notes from this caution and saw how Mac launched. So let's actually go back to the screen flag, and I want to see. Let's go to the blimp and see how Mac did this restart, because this could be a sign of how Mac does it again here. Let's see. Launches right about the G of the word Geico. Now, the bad disadvantage here for Kelly, as you're going to see here, is, again, that's in the corner. So for Kelly, he's almost got to look to the right, maybe for the word Geico, but again, just where the angle is, it's going to be very tough here. Can it be done? Absolutely. But it's not going to be easy. And of course, Deweese, if he can get a good restart on the 88, he'll have a chance to get to the inside there and have a chance to win this race. But he has two tires to work with, so slightly a disadvantage on him. Fuller could be one to make a bonsai move outside. And how about good comeback for him? Good comeback for the 84, running in the 6th position. And of course, we all remember the last lap, by the way, where they junked it last in the February race. Here we go. McMillan, another great restart. Kelly going to try to cross him over into 1. Kelly at least clears the 5 this time by, which allows him to focus on McMillan as Fuller to the outside of the 5 as they come to the white flag. Mac McMillan picked up a couple of early wins this season. Missed a few races right before the playoffs, has returned and has looked really good. And he's going to continue to look really good and help himself in the playoff cause tonight as McMillan wins at Richmond. And Macklin goes sliding and more wrecking happens as Kelly ends up 2nd, Deweese 3rd, Fuller 4th. And Kevin Brown, your top 5. McMillan lights it up or not, got the speakers turned up in case he does. He'll cut some grass. McMillan, his 3rd win of the season. Going to be a good points night for that 88 car. His other 2 wins this season came at the... Oh, never mind. It's just showing all of his stats here, so... A lot of other places. There we go. His other 2 wins, Las Vegas and Phoenix earlier this season, so... Obviously, his first win since February here for the 88 car. It's going to feel pretty good to get him back in victory lane here. As McMillan wins it by 0.3 of a second over Kelly, Deweese finishes 3rd, holding off Fuller. Kevin Brown finishes 5th. Anthony Calantoni finishes 6th, and will likely... It's going to be close between he and Dalton. I think Calantoni's going to jump him, though, at least position-wise, but Dalton might have done good enough to move himself above the bubble line. We'll have to see how that all works out when the points load here in a second. Miles finishes 7th, Brian Macklin 8th, Scott Simley and Tyler Dalton your top 10, JP Phillips 11th, Chad Coleman, Charles Van Schaik 12th and 13th, Jeff Ryan and William Kemp finishing in the 15th and 16th positions. And the rest of your finishing orders as, one order. Christine finishing 16th. Seth Fowley, Nelson Rivera, Glenn Campbell, Brian Wortman, Josh Parker 21st, Levi Poland 22nd, Jose Gonzalez, Matt Martell, and EJ O'Rourke in the 24th and 25th positions. Gillenwater, Schrader, Yoakum, Donaldson end up 28th and 29th, and then John Schweikert unfortunately didn't make the race here tonight, and that's going to hurt him big time up there in the top part of the standings. Actually, it's going to be pretty close now for him to be on the bubble because he was only about 14 points above, so this could be a big, big situation for the driver of that one car. And we'll wait to see if the points do get updated here momentarily. And we'll talk to the drivers as McMillan sits there being patient. And we'll talk to our third place finisher, and that being Braxton Deweese there in the number 5 car. As Braxton, obviously another good run for you tonight in that 5 car, getting a third place finish here. I know it's been a battle for you, especially now with obviously not getting really any bonus points because of no wins or anything like that. So you kind of fell in the standings, but you've had to push a little bit more and get your best finish here at the playoffs so far, and continue to be the top driver on short tracks this season.
Yeah, just short once again, unfortunately. But, we were up there. We were up there in the first Richmond race as well. So, that's all we can ask for is to be up there in the mix. So, we were, and started off with a good qualifying run. So, we'll take that, and we need to keep that up for the remaining races. I believe there's 5 remaining races the rest of the season. So, it was a good race for the points. Like you said, not really getting any bonus points with no wins. Winning the regular season championship and then not getting any bonus points was pretty frustrating. I was looking forward to that. I was like, maybe I'll get like 5 or 10 or maybe even 15 if they're super generous, but I got nothing for that. So that was kind of frustrating because I knew I had to go out and win, even though we haven't been able to all year. I have to get the bonus points. I got one more race to try to get the bonus points at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, we're going to try to do our best there and be a couple spots better. I was kind of hoping we could get it there when that caution came out, and I took them 2 tires, but I was just a tad too loose and didn't get a good enough restart there, and Mac was able to stay to the outside. So just the little things. The restart screwed me the first Richmond race, and it kind of screwed me here, but I was still going to be loose. It was going to be a tough one too, so to hold off Mac and Mike. So it was a good race all in all to get the third, but just kind of frustrated we don't have the bonus points to go into the next round, and we're going to be about 40 some points down from the leader going into that. So that's going to be really tough to try to make any points without the top guys having some bad luck at the first couple races or just any of the races. So either way, we're going to try to do our best and qualify up front like we did tonight, next week, and then 4 other weeks, and hopefully we can, at least stay up here and get the most points as we can if we can't get any bonus points. So, all in all, good night to be able to talk to you.
Well, the good news for you is the fact that you got a 15-point advantage going into the final race here of this first round. And I'm just actually checking the bonus point situation. I believe that the points do not get the bonuses in the second half. I could be wrong on that. But if I remember that correctly, so you might actually
that would help a lot.
Okay. But either way, still 14 points, so 15 points going into the final race in Atlanta next week as you've moved to 4th in points officially here tonight. So that's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, for sure. I believe, is it 8 cars or
it is
how
8
many
cars?
cars?
That part's true.
8?
It is 8.
Okay, so 8 cars battling out for the 4 races there, and whoever's able to get the most points is come out the champion. So, like I said, we'll try to have to, qualify up front and run up front to try to get as many points as we can to just try to gain that we don't gain what we're back. So, hopefully we can try to make it a little more interesting and with having a good race next week and going into the next round with just a little buffer, and hopefully, like you said, with the playoff points, hopefully that doesn't carry over. That would definitely help out a lot. But even if it doesn't, it's still going to be the same, and we're going to try to go out and win and try to get as many points as we can. So that's definitely the goal here at the last 5 races.
Well, great job tonight, and congratulations. And yeah, man, send some shouts wherever you like to.
Yeah, appreciate Boot 34 Diecast. Put them on the car for this year. Been having some really good runs with them, and been pretty consistent other than having some bad luck and getting some wrecks. But that'll happen with racing, and so glad to have them on the car. And like I said, hopefully we can get them a win at least this year. So big shout out to him. Also give a shout out to Interstate Ford, Allen's Arts Images, Bennett's Publical, Jane's on Main, Deweese Renovations, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. Whatever coffee you want to try or you've had and you're wanting to try again, and or just get a bunch of stuff, you can use the Brax 5 for 10% off there in the checkout to get a little bit off there. So that helps everybody out. So I appreciate him for letting me do that, and I appreciate everybody that runs the league and you doing the broadcast. I look forward to go back and watching it, and we're gonna try to practice. We got a couple big races for my other league, so running for a championship. So we got to practice hard for that, and practice hard for next week as well. So see what we can do.
I did get clarification, by the way, and there are not bonus points going into the second round. So basically, go resets it all over, and you start even for 4 races. So
sweet.
Yeah, there you go. So best of luck, man, and obviously have a good week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
All right, Chris. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Braxton Deweese, the Bully Dog Coffee Company car, finishing in the 3rd position. And unfortunately, he's the 2nd best coffee car tonight, which I will not use the grounds for concern. Oh, wait, I just used the bad coffee line. Yeah, anyways, there's my dad joke for the night. That might or might not have been done on purpose. As congratulations to Braxton. Second place finisher is Mike Kelly. Falls up just a little bit short. So 1st and a 2nd in the 2 races here. I guess it's nothing to be too ashamed of. But Mike obviously falling up a little short here. But still a great run tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win them all. Matter of fact, you can hardly win any of them. But I'll take the top 3 any day. I'm cruising in the points, and I haven't seen if they got those updated yet. But I feel good about going into Atlanta, and still in 3rd place in the points there. So I feel like as long as I run the race, I'm good, even if I get crashed out. So that's good, being able to go into that cutoff race, knowing that you're in that situation and you can just run hard and go for a win there in that last race. But it was a fun run. Mac's tough to pass, and I don't know how on a run like that, the green-white checker, you could ever get by anyone without roughing him up. That's his quality driver. So I took what I could get and just hope no one knocked me off the podium, and I'm happy with the 2nd tonight.
Yeah, looking at the points right now, it looks like you're good as long as more than like 30 people don't show up. I mean, then you need to finish last, and a whole bunch of things need to happen. So, but yeah, you're looking pretty good going into next week. At the
32 points, that'll work.
Yeah, going into the
Or
Atlanta,
30?
right? So 30, what, 30? I mean, you would need 35. You would need
35.
4 guys below you to pass you. Yeah, you need a whole bunch of things to happen. So I mean, it looks good, though it's possible. I mean, just
it's
ask
not
Mr.
mathematically clinched.
No, so look at Schweikert, for instance. He unfortunately had issues tonight, and now he's all of a sudden sitting right down there in the bubble after missing the race tonight. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
Woo!
But needless to say, man, a lot of comparing I had to do in this race between that spring race and now, because I remember the long run that we had at the end of the race, the overtime finish. Fuller had 2 tires. Yeah, it looked like might have been one of the best cars in the race, and then you snuck up there and grabbed it, and it's like, man, here we go again.
Yeah, I was hoping, but I didn't. Coming up, the only way I was going to have a chance to win that race was to somehow get up beside him coming off 2.
Right.
And then, you can hold him down and pinch him and get pretty good run off the high side with new tires, especially later in the race there was, I saw during that one long run, all those guys, I think Fuller was ripping the wall up there like Darlington. And my testing and my laps, I just was not gaining anything by going up there. And I'm a bottom feeder when it comes to Richmond. So time-wise, I was running about the same time either way. So I was surprised to see those guys not catching us running that high side, but it worked good. And I just didn't have anything for Mac there at the end.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Well, shout out to Ashlyn and John Mustin, and I'm got some secret works with him to maybe get some new paint schemes going on for the playoffs and the Cup Series. And shout out to Sim500, all the admins, all the sponsors, NC811, Trans Service, I can never say that, I tell you. That's a terrible tongue twister of a name. I told Leslie, it's like, you got to change your company's name.
That's funny.
And, shout out to the
WBD Diecast. I'll help you out with that.
I know. I want to say that's change it to WBD and it'll flow right off the tongue.
That's what it is.
But I thought. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Whatever it is, I can't. Shout out to Scott Sibley and Seth and Chuck. They had it. Well, let's see. Chuck got 13th. Scott got 9th. Seth got trapped a lap down for a long time and was able to have some fun at the end. So, fun night of racing with Turn 1 heroes. And shout out to Mac for the win. And Braxton for some good racing. It was a fun time. And thanks to you for the broadcast. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. You forgot to
And can't do it without the smoking hot wife. Thanks for the tip.
Absolutely. Glad I can help. Mike Kelly finishing in the second position here at the Richmond Raceway. So great job on his part. And for the first time since April of this season, Mac McMillan, who went to victory lane in Phoenix in that night, actually dominated that race tonight, pulls out a little curveball, if you will, as man throws out a tire strategy mid-race and uses it to get to the front, about loses the lead as the tires fall off the map, gets a caution, and man, did you take advantage of that run. What a bold strategy, Cotton, as Kevin England would say to me. And what a way to get back to victory lane.
We finally got us one, man. We finally got back here. It's been a rough couple months.
Slightly.
Been getting collected in a lot of stuff. And some of it's been my fault. Bet on pit road one race. But yeah, that was fun. It was awesome.
Talk about the strategy. What went behind your mindset there? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you literally had one set of tires for the last 100 laps.
Right. I just looked at it like, okay, there's 100 laps left. We're normally going to run 30, 40 laps before anybody pits. I just looked at it like I'm probably only going to come down pit road, or the majority of the field is only going to pit one more time anyways. But when I was the only one that pulled down there, I was like, okay, they might know something that I don't know. And the first couple of runs right there, I was saving a lot of tire. Like I was just riding, and every time a caution would come out, I'd be catching the leaders. I mean, I was rotating great, had great tire wear. But when I pulled down and pitted, and I was the Lone Ranger on pit road, it kind of scared me. And then when they took the tires off, and I looked at my tires that came off, it said 99, 98, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. All he did is knock the new off of them. So when we went back green, I went as hard as I could. I knew a lot of people were still saving. I just went as hard as I could to try to get back up there. And by the time I got to the front, I think we were pretty close to even on tire. I kind of got a little bit of a lead, and I just backed it down because I knew Brian. I knew he's good on the long runs here. And he started reeling me in a little bit there towards the end. I mean, he was rotating better. I still had a little bit in the bag because, I mean, I knew he was going to be coming. He's great on the long runs. I knew he was going to be coming, but I had a little bit left, but I wanted to save it to fight him once he got to me, you know.
Well, obviously it worked out for you as you were able to get up there and hold on to the lead as the strategy definitely worked out for you. Was there any, I mean, do you go back and look at any of the races of the past? I asked that from the standpoint of this race had a 100-lap green flag run in the spring.
Yeah. No, I just remember like the past races, like earlier in the year here, I figured it would go green. That's why in the first couple of runs I was in major conservation mode, saving tires, and we just kept getting them yellows. But I felt like it would eventually string out and go green, and it did there for a little while. It did. What did it go green? About 80 laps or so?
Something like that. It was pretty close, yeah. It was up there.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shouts if you like to.
Yeah, I appreciate you for broadcasting everything you do, Chris. Appreciate Joey for putting it on, and thanks to the Bully Dog Coffee Company, we got him in there finally. We got it in there, buddy. It finally happened.
Got yourself a win for the coffee, man. That's awesome. Great job.
Yes,
And,
sir.
Go celebrate the win with some coffee.
All righty.
There
Appreciate
you
it,
go,
buddy.
You too. Be safe as Mac McMillan goes to victory lane here tonight. And congrats to him and everybody for a great race again tonight here at the Richmond Raceway. And next week it is the Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race of the first round. And we'll see which drivers will be racing for the championship coming up in a little over a month from now. As we take a look at the point standings, as soon as I can find my, there it is. And where it looks for now as the unfortunate big loser tonight, John Schweikert, with the issue with his race. Not sure if it was a connection issue, an emergency, or whatever, but it's unfortunate that comes into play here as he falls all the way down to 45 points out, and he is now 1 point above the bubble, which is Tyler Dalton and Anthony Calantoni. They are tied. Scott Simley is right there in 10th. Wesley Donaldson, if you want to call somebody the big loser out of those who raced, it's him, as he goes from literally less than 5 points out and right there with Tyler Dalton to now 67 points out of the points lead, or out of the points lead, and what, 21 points, I'm sorry, from the bubble. So he is going to need everything to happen right at Atlanta, the Legacy track this season. Now, the interesting thing about this is if you go back and watch the Cup race at Legacy Atlanta earlier this season, it was Wesley Donaldson who stole one from Kevin King and Fuller coming to the line to, Parker, not Fuller, to win that race that day. So can lightning strike twice and Donaldson get another win at Atlanta and potentially kick himself back to the playoffs? We'll have to see. The rest of the guys, Rivera, I mean, he's right there with Donaldson, Coleman, Gillenwater, Van Schaik. Pretty safe to say Van Schaik and Parker, those guys are out officially of the playoffs as of now. Gillenwater is going to need a lot of things to happen. So is Coleman and Rivera. So a lot of people need miracles, and a lot of people just need solid runs, and they should be good to go coming up next week at the Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final race of the first round. So looking forward to that coming up here next week. And tomorrow night, the Brickyard for the Cup Series. Looking forward to going to Indianapolis to call that race with Kevin England, and should be fun when it's all over with tomorrow night. So come join us at 8:15 Eastern Time for some great racing from the Brickyard. Let's head out. Let's enjoy the rest of our weekend. For me, I get one more day because I work on Tuesdays, Tuesday to Saturday. So forgive me for thinking tomorrow's Sunday, because that's just how my mind is right now. But enjoy your Monday, and we will see you guys back tomorrow night from Indianapolis. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for their continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation from the Captain Esports Network.